guys to today's 7 on Sunday. Now this week we are going to be going away from the romantic side of things because February is actually Black History Month, so we have been kind of given free reign of what we want to do on this topic. It could be recommendations or books that you want to read. You can pretty much do anything with this topic that you want to do, as long as we kind of like give voice to like Black authors or Black characters in the story. And I am excited about this theme because I'm going to talk about 3 books that I have read and 4 books that I haven't read, and I'm excited to get into this list. And I'm glad Grace decided to do this topic for 7 on Sunday because it's always good to have more recommendations, to see other people's videos, but to also like be able to talk about it yourself. And if you guys weren't aware, Grace is the one that has created a 7 on Sunday, and she's always linked down below with the Goodreads page so that you can check out all the information that you need there. So I'm excited to get into this topic and talk about some good books. So the first one that I always want to mention is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas, because I feel like this is a staple book that you need to read because it's only a stepping stone into the Black Lives Matter movement, and this book does it very well. It was very eye-opening when I read this quite a few years ago, and I really did enjoy this book. And even though it is very upsetting to see the reality of what does happen to people of color, I really do think this book did open my eyes and I felt more aware of a lot of issues around me. And I also really think they did a good job with the movie. Like, I thought the characters were done really well and the story was really evolved well, but I am always going to recommend The Hate U Give though because it is such a powerful book to read. Another book that I really love is Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, and I feel like one of the main reasons I really love this book is race isn't an issue in this story, because like even though she does have darker skin and he is white, there is never an issue of, well, you shouldn't be dating someone like that, or it's not a story that just tries to be destructive in that sense, which I thought was really refreshing, because I'm sure it's not good to just use the color of your skin as a plot point in every single story. And I thought this book was very interesting for it to not do that, and since then I have read a lot of books that don't do that, which I think is really great. Even though the main character is sick in this book and she can't go in the outside world, it's a very cute romance and I highly recommend it. And also The Sun Is Not a Star is her other book that she wrote, where the main character is going to get deported and the book takes place over a whole day, and that was also really good. But she actually has another book coming out that I'm very, very excited about because it is going to be about dancing and I'm very keen about that. But I just had fun with the story. I read it very quickly and it was just a really easy and fun read. And the other book I want to talk about is Children of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adeyemi, and I will say that I was not a big fan of this book because of some of the decisions that the characters made and just some of the personality quirks and just some of the shit that I was just like, okay, why? But I really liked just Tommy Adeyemi's fantasy world and the fact that she pitched it as an Avatar: The Last Airbender / Black Panther story, and I just liked seeing the world that she created because it was pretty complex, like with having the different clans and having the different magic, and it was a really fun read. And I still have it on my agenda to reread this book at some point. Like, I've got the second book sitting there, haven't read it yet. The second book is actually way smaller than the first book, so I'm not even sure if it's gonna live up to the first book once I read this, because I read this at a weird time in my life where I think because of the circumstances that's a main reason why I didn't end up enjoying it, not just because of the content of the book. But is there going to be a third book? Like, do people know if we're going to have like another book? Because I'm not actually sure. But this is definitely one I would say give a go if you haven't picked it up yet, because it was fun, but it also got very serious. But there was also like necromancy, so there was like a lot of elements. Like, it was pretty cool. Okay, now getting on to the 4 books that I really want to read, and I don't know why I haven't picked them up yet, but I've just been all over the place with my reading lately, so I have not been doing a good job. But the first one is Pride by E.B. Zaboy. So this is a book I got in an Owl Crate like 3 years ago that I still haven't picked up, and I am very excited to read this. And I read American Street from this author and it wasn't like my favorite. Like, there's a few things that were a bit quirky with the characters that I wasn't a big fan of, and I also listened to the audiobook, so I liked it, but it was also just like not my favorite. But this is a Pride and Prejudice retelling, but like a modern spin on it, and I'm very excited for that because it's going to be cool to see the story but in a modern setting that I will understand, because I obviously live in the modern setting. And it's also going to be interesting to see the way that they like bring certain things to the story but also keep it to our day standards kind of thing, and I just think that's going to be like really cool, and I think it could be really fun. And I do want to read this, and I think eventually down the line I'm going to pick it up for a readathon because that's how I seem to read contemporaries more often than not. But I definitely know I'm very excited to pick this one up. The next one I want to talk about is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, and I actually have started this book. I'm like nearly going to be halfway through it, so I'm at page 138, but I had to put it down because I've been really, really slumpy and I actually have not been enjoying it that much. But I honestly just was not feeling anything. I could have literally been like rereading The Night Circus, which is my favorite book, and I would have hated it. Like, I have not been vibing with a lot lately, but I have been slowly getting back into it because I've been reading Lady Midnight. But I was so excited to pick this book up. Everyone has been talking about it being like a really cool romance and a really fun story. And I really like Chloe and I really like Red, and I just like reading these type of contemporary romances. And Ava Brown, which is the third book, is either out or it's coming out soon. And I just know I'm going to be very excited to read all of these. And for so long, Sasha keeps recommending this book to me and I really do want to read it. But as I said, I got to be in the right frame of mind. Can some people recommend me more romances though that are from Black authors? And they're always just a good fun time. And I would love to read more diversely, so if there is any recommendations you can send my way, like I'm obviously going to watch videos of people that post for the 7 on Sunday topic, but really niche fandom of like just adult contemporaries with the illustrated covers that are cute. Please give me recommendations. The next book I really want to read is Tyler Johnson Was Here by J. Coles, and this is one that was recommended a lot when we were very heavily talking about the Black Lives Matter, like probably halfway through last year. And even though people are still talking about, which is good because the voices still need to be heard about everything, I bought this book and the next book I'm going to talk about because I wanted to read some more stories that really go into like the first person narrative of what people of color have to go through. So I really do want to read this book. I just haven't gotten to it yet because I feel like this is another one where you've got to be in the right frame of mind to read a story that you know is going to be sad. And I kind of felt the same way when I was reading A Very Large Expansive Sea, because it was so like traumatic even reading from the perspective of the main character of what she went through after the 9/11 attacks and how people just treated her because she wore a hijab. And seeing these books where these characters are going to be like have the police brutality, it's going to be very upsetting. And obviously we coming from the perspective of a person with lighter skin, this is stuff that I'm never going to have to deal with because of my skin color, and it just doesn't make sense to me that because of the way that we look, this is how people are going to react to you. And it's bad to even say like you're lucky that you're going to have lighter skin because people can't affect you in that way. But even though I have lighter skin, I am also a woman, so there is still issues of like the way that you're going to have sexual harassment or the way that men are going to treat you. Like there's always things that people are going to discriminate against, and it's awful that this is what our society is at the bare minimum. Like there are so many good things in the world, but having this part of our like society and part of our lives is just so awful to have to think about. And the more you think about it, the worse it gets. But these books that are going to have different like authors' experiences but also like the characters' experiences are books that we need to read, and I do want to read them because the other one I have on my list is Dear Martin by Nick Stone, and I know that this is another one that Sasha read that she really enjoyed, and this is her recommendation was the reason I added it to my cart when I bought these, because I bought these at the same time. But as I said, I just feel like I'm not in the right frame of mind yet to read them, but I know I want to read them and I know I want to be more informed. And even recommendations on this stamp, because I feel like I could be more of a diverse reader and I would like to have more recommendations of things to read because I want to learn more and I don't want to be clueless about these matters. And I'm pretty sure there's a second book to this one that's come out. I actually saw a copy of it at the shops when I went to Canberra the other week, but it wasn't the same cover, and like I need my books to match because that's the way I am. I would at least love to read these this year, but I just don't know like when that's gonna happen. But I know that they're here and I know that I really want to read them. Same as all these books, I just would love to have these on my read section and then I could have them in a recommendations video, not a I want to read and I don't know how to feel yet. But these are all the books I wanted to talk about today, guys, and this was a really good topic because I liked like having a bit of a free range here. Like we could put our own spin on it, which was really fun. But we also have like another romance topic next week, but it's more like an anti-romance, which I'm very keen about. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!